I-26F, work as a software engineer at a tech company in Silicon Valley. I've been supporting my family financially since I landed this job right out of college, making $128,400 annually. Currently, I'm 33 weeks pregnant with my first child. Let me walk you through what led to this moment. For the past 6 years, I've been the family's financial backbone. My mother relies on me for her mortgage payments, $856 monthly. My sister Catherine, 32F, depends on me for her rent and utilities, $1,284 monthly. My brother Noah, 24M, expects me to cover his gym membership and various subscriptions, $160.50 monthly. I even pay for my niece Lucy's 8F dance lessons, $128.40 monthly. The total amount I've given them over these 6 years? $152,940. Not because I had excess money, but because they constantly needed help. Or so they claimed. It started small. A text from Catherine, "Hey, can you help with Lucy's dance costume?" Just this once. A call from Mom about a late pension check. Noah's casual, "Yo, can you handle the phone bill?" Each time, I said yes. Not because I was wealthy, but because they were family. They called me their rock, their angel, the responsible one. I believed that's what love looked like, always being there, always helping. But over time, something shifted. The gratitude disappeared, replaced by expectation, then entitlement. Catherine stopped saying thank you, she just sent Venmo requests with notes like Lucy's school supplies, or emergency groceries, though I'd see her Instagram stories showing off gel manicures and bottomless mimosa brunches the same day. Noah didn't even pretend anymore. His texts became shorter, Wi-Fi's out, or gym membership expired. Mom started saying things like, "You're so blessed, sweetie. God gave you that job so you could help others," as if my success was a divine appointment to fund their failures. When I announced my pregnancy, their reactions were lukewarm at best. "Wow, congrats," they said, but something had shifted. It was like I'd disturbed the family ecosystem by wanting something for myself. I should have known something was off when nobody offered to host the baby shower. "We're all so busy," Catherine said. "You'll probably just do something chill, right?" Noah barely looked up from his phone. "Why don't you just do a Facebook post instead of a whole party?" Mom suggested. I tried to shrug it off. I bought pastel decorations myself. Created an Amazon registry filled with affordable essentials, diapers, bottles, a crib. Asked my friend Mia if I could host at her place. She said yes. I sent the invite in the family group chat. Not a single RSVP. Weeks passed. The date crept closer. I followed up gently, "Hey, just making sure you saw the invite." Catherine replied with an emoji. Noah left me on read. Mom finally responded, "We'll see, that weekend's a bit hectic, honey." That weekend they were at my cousin Anna's baby shower. Her third child. Full catered buffet, coordinated outfits, balloons taller than her toddler. The whole family was there. I wasn't invited. I saw the photos on Instagram, Mom smiling beside Anna's cake table, Catherine taking selfies, Noah posting a reel of the party DJ with the caption, "Family over everything." That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat on the floor of my bedroom, rubbing the curve of my belly, and realized something: they weren't just absent. They were making a point. A point that my baby didn't matter. That I didn't matter. And yet, they still expected me to pay. The day after the party, Catherine requested $150 for Lucy's school project. Noah texted, "Mom's phone is off again, can you fix it?" That's when the real shift happened in me. I didn't reply. I opened our family chat and wrote one sentence, "Thanks for making it clear where I stand." Then I left the chat and began the quiet demolition of their financial scaffolding. I logged into my bank account. One by one, I canceled every automatic payment. Mom's mortgage assistance, deleted. Catherine's rent transfers, cancelled. Noah's subscriptions, terminated. Lucy's dance lesson payments, stopped. I didn't announce it. I didn't write along. I didn't explain myself. I just stopped. What I didn't know was how loud the consequences would be. The next morning, the texts started flooding in. Noah, yo, what's going on? Wi-Fi down, Netflix too. You cancel the Spotify. Catherine, why is the internet off? Lucy has a school Zoom today and she's freaking out. Fix it. Also, did you cancel the Target card? I had a cart full of groceries. Mom, voicemail a sweetheart, this behavior is concerning. We're your family. You don't punish people you love. I didn't respond. I didn't owe them an explanation. Let them sit in the silence. Let them feel the vacuum I used to fill. That evening, I sat on my couch, warm tea in hand, baby kicking lightly beneath my ribs, and I smiled. Because for once, they were the ones scrambling, and I was finally free from their strings. 2 days after I left the family group chat, my phone rang. Mom, of course. We're coming over tonight, she said sharply. All of us. We need to talk. Not, hi, how are you feeling? Not, are you okay? Just, we need to talk. I could already hear the rehearsed speeches in her voice. They weren't coming to talk. They were coming to corner me. And for the first time in my life, I was ready for it. At 7 p.m., they arrived like a hurricane. Mom marched in without even making eye contact. Catherine tossed her purse down like it offended her. Noah slouched in wearing his hoodie, pretending to be casual, but I could see the tension behind his smugness. They didn't ask to sit. They didn't ask how I was doing. They just took over my living room like they still owned it. Let's just get to the point, Mom said, crossing her arms. This whole silent treatment, canceling payments, it's childish. Frankly, we're all shocked. Shocked? I asked, raising an eyebrow. You're shocked that I stopped paying for everything? Noah leaned forward, annoyed. Seriously. The Wi-Fi is off, Netflix won't load, my gym app says I'm suspended, like, did you cancel everything on purpose? On purpose? I smiled coldly. Yes, Noah, that was the idea. Catherine snorted. Are you still on about that baby shower? It's just a party. Get over it. I stood up slowly, my hand resting on my belly. You're right. It's not about the party. It's about the fact that I'm 33 weeks pregnant, and my entire family decided it wasn't worth showing up for me. Not one of you even RSVP'd. Mom raised her hand like a judge silencing a courtroom. We didn't mean anything by it. We just figured baby showers are usually for first babies. This is my first baby, I said, voice sharp now. And you all knew that. No one said a word. You didn't forget, I continued. You made a choice. You showed up for Anna's shower last weekend, balloons, buffet, matching outfits, and you ignored mine. Then 2 days later, Catherine sends me a Venmo request for $150, and Noah is asking me to fix Mom's phone bill. My sister rolled her eyes. Oh please, don't act like a victim. You've always been the generous one. What, now you want a cookie for helping out? That was it. I laughed, and it wasn't a nice laugh. It was the kind that comes out when you've snapped so hard the pieces can't be put back. Okay, let's talk about that generosity. Let's talk about how I paid your rent for 10 months straight, Catherine. How I covered Lucy's dance classes, school supplies, summer camp while you posted your $70 gel nails and bottomless brunches on Instagram. Catherine flushed red but stayed silent. And Noah, I turned to him. I've paid for your phone, gym, Spotify, Uber credits, and more. You once texted me, yo, run it, like I was your assistant, not your sister. Mom jumped in, voice rising. You're making this way bigger than it is. We're your family. We thought we could trust you. No, I said flatly. You thought you could use me. And you did. 4 years. Noah scoffed. Man, what do you even want? A standing ovation? You made your money, you helped out, big deal. That doesn't make you better than us. I leaned in. No, Noah, it makes me tired. It makes me done. Because I've bent over backward for this family, and the first time I needed something, just one small act of kindness, you couldn't even pretend to care. Catherine stood up, hands on her hips. You're so dramatic. Do you want us to cry now? Throw you a pity party? Grow up and then, unexpectedly, someone else spoke from the corner of the room. My cousin Lisa, who'd been sitting quietly the whole time, stood up. I was on your side, she said, voice shaking a little, but this is disgusting. You all act like she's an ATM and then treat her like dirt when she sets a boundary. Everyone turned to her, stunned. Lisa, don't get involved, Mom snapped. No, Lisa said. I am involved because I see how you've treated her, and I don't want to be part of a family that punishes someone for growing a backbone. And just like that, Lisa grabbed her purse and walked out. The room fell into stunned silence. Then Mom turned back to me, face pinched with guilt and anger. Think about your baby, she said. She needs a family. Are you really going to raise her alone, without us? I looked my mother dead in the eye. Better alone than surrounded by people who only love me when I'm useful. They left my apartment that night like a funeral procession. No one slammed the door. No one screamed. Not anymore. The storm had passed, but the wreckage, oh, it was everywhere. Noah mumbled something under his breath on the way out, probably another insult, but I didn't catch it. Catherine didn't even look at me. And Mom, she paused in the doorway. Her hand brushed the edge of the door frame like she wanted to say something, but she didn't. She walked away, and I closed the door behind them. That night, I stood in my kitchen with the lights off, holding a warm cup of tea against my belly. My baby rolled once, then settled. The silence in the room felt like oxygen, like freedom. For the first time in years, I didn't feel guilty. Not for saying no. Not for walking away. Not for being selfish. Because I wasn't. Update 1, the character assassination began almost immediately. My phone buzzed with a notification. Noah had posted a lengthy Facebook rant about toxic family members who build themselves up by tearing others down. He didn't name me directly, but he made sure to mention his pregnant sister who thinks money makes her better than everyone else. The post got dozens of sympathetic reactions from extended family members who only heard their side of the story. Catherine took it a step further. She started calling every relative in our family directory, spinning a tale about how I'd abandoned them in their time of need. According to my cousin Taylor, who later told me everything, Catherine claimed I had changed after getting pregnant, become mentally unstable, and was destroying the family out of pregnancy hormones. She even suggested that everyone should pray for my mental health. The real knife in the back came when Mom got involved. She went to our local church, where she's been a member for 20 years, and told the pastor's wife that she was deeply worried about my spiritual state. Suddenly, I was getting calls from church members I hadn't spoken to in years, all wanting to check in on me and remind me about the importance of honoring my mother and father. But the lowest blow? They're using Lucy as a weapon. Catherine sent me a video of Lucy crying because she couldn't go to dance class anymore. Tell your Aunt Nicole why you're sad, sweetie, Catherine's voice prompted from behind the camera. My heart broke watching it, but then Taylor revealed something interesting. Catherine had already pulled Lucy out of dance class 2 months ago to save money for a spring break trip to Cancun. The financial impact is hitting them hard, and they're not handling it well. Noah's girlfriend broke up with him after he couldn't take her out for their anniversary. Apparently, he had promised her a fancy dinner but had zero money saved. He blamed me in another social media rant, claiming I'd ruined his relationship. Mom's situation is getting desperate. Her neighbor, who's been my mom's friend for years, reached out to me privately on Facebook. Apparently, Mom's been telling everyone that I'm withholding her pension money, a complete lie, as I was only helping with her mortgage. The neighbor wanted to warn Amy that Mom's been talking about taking legal action to get her money back. The family divide is growing wider by the day. At our cousin Jennifer's wedding next month, I'm no longer seated at the family table, a change Catherine orchestrated by telling Jennifer I'm unstable and might cause a scene. Jennifer, who hasn't bothered to hear my side, agreed to the change. I responded by declining the invitation entirely. But here's where it gets interesting, not everyone's buying their version of events. Taylor has become my unexpected ally, sharing screenshots of the family's group chat where they're plotting against me. My Aunt Rebecca, who I was never particularly close with, called me yesterday. "I've watched them take advantage of you for years," she said. "It's about time someone stood up to them." The most surprising support came from my father's sister, Aunt Marie. She's been quiet since my dad passed away 5 years ago, but she called me out of the blue. "Your father would be proud of you," she said. "He always worried they were using you. He tried to protect you from it, but after he died." She trailed off, but I understood. Dad had been the only buffer between me and their financial demands. The community impact has been intense. Mom's been telling neighbors I'm mentally ill and neglecting my family duties. She even had the audacity to tell her bridge club that I'm refusing to help pay for Lucy's medical treatments. Lucy is perfectly healthy, by the way. The rumors spread so far that my supervisor at work pulled me aside to ask if everything was okay, at home, having heard gossip through his wife who attends the same church. Catherine's latest move? She's planning a family intervention for me. I found out through Taylor that they're gathering relatives next weekend to confront me about my selfish behavior and mental state. They've even contacted my ex-boyfriend from college to ask if I showed signs of instability back then. He, thankfully, blocked them and warned me. Noah's taken to posting cryptic quotes about blood being thicker than water and money changing people. He's conveniently forgotten about the $3,000 gaming PC I bought him last Christmas or the fact that I paid for his coding boot camp, which he dropped out of after 2 weeks. The financial fallout continues to spread. Catherine's landlord called me. Apparently, she listed me as a guarantor on her lease without my knowledge months ago. I informed him I had never signed anything and to check his paperwork. He was not pleased to discover the signature on the form didn't match mine. Mom's mortgage company sent her a warning about missed payments. Instead of looking for solutions, she's been telling everyone that I stole her house payments. She conveniently forgets to mention these were voluntary gifts from me, not obligations. The most painful part? Other children at Lucy's school have started asking her why she had to quit dance. Catherine told her to say, "Aunt Nicole took all our money." My heart breaks for how they're poisoning her young mind. But I'm staying strong. Each manipulative text, each angry voicemail, each social media attack just confirms I made the right decision. I've started documenting everything, the lies, the manipulation attempts, the financial fraud attempts. My lawyer friend Mia says I'm right to keep records, just in case their desperation turns into legal threats. My pregnancy is now 34 weeks along, and despite their attempts to stress me out, I'm more at peace than ever. My blood pressure is actually lower than it was when I was supporting everyone. My doctor noticed the improvement at my last checkup and commented on how much more relaxed I seem. The nursery is coming along beautifully, painted a soft sage green with woodland creatures on the walls. Every time I fold tiny onesies or arrange diapers on the changing table, I'm reminded that I'm breaking a cycle. My daughter won't grow up thinking she has to set herself on fire to keep others warm. Taylor's been checking in daily, keeping me updated on family happenings while helping me maintain my distance. "They're showing their true colors," she said yesterday. And honestly, those colors are ugly. She's right. Every attempt they make to paint me as the villain just reveals more about who they really are. And I'm done feeling guilty about protecting myself and my baby from their toxicity. Update 2, Catherine lost her apartment. Not because I stopped paying, she'd already spent this month's rent money I sent her on a weekend spa trip, but because the property management discovered she'd forged my signature as a guarantor. She's been forced to move back to Mom's house with Lucy. The cosmic irony? She's now sleeping in Noah's old room because Noah had to move to the basement after defaulting on his car payments. He can't even drive for Uber anymore. Turns out he never bothered getting his own insurance after I stopped covering his policy. Mom's facing her own crisis. The church ladies she'd rallied against me? They're starting to see through her act. After she tried to organize a financial support drive for herself, claiming she was supporting a mentally unstable pregnant daughter, the pastor's wife did some digging. Now everyone knows I was the one supporting her all along. But the real wake-up call came from an unexpected source. Lucy's father, James, showed up at my door yesterday. Instead of accusations, he brought a peace offering, a small box of baby clothes and a reality check about Catherine. She told me you abandoned Lucy, he said, but I've seen your monthly transfers for 3 years. You paid for more than I did, and I'm her father. Catherine's been lying to everyone, including me. He showed me screenshots of Catherine bragging in their co-parenting chat about getting money from me while planning vacations. You did the right thing, he said. Lucy deserves to see what real responsibility looks like. The family has split into clear factions now. Team Reality is Taylor, Aunt Marie, James, and surprisingly, several church members, versus Team Denial, Mom, Catherine, Noah, and the relatives they've managed to fool. The divide became crystal clear at Sunday dinner when Aunt Marie publicly called out Mom's lies. Your daughter bought you a new refrigerator last Christmas, she announced to the whole family, while you complained about her being selfish. When was the last time you even asked about her baby? Noah's facade finally cracked last week. After his 3rd job interview rejection, turns out, freelance podcast host isn't an impressive resume entry, he sent me his first honest message in years, I messed up. I got used to you fixing everything. I didn't reply, but Taylor told me he's finally enrolled in community college. Sometimes rock bottom has a purpose. Meanwhile, my life has found a new rhythm. The nursery is ready, painted in soft sage green. My hospital bag is packed. The doctor says the baby has dropped, she could come any day now. My blood pressure is perfect, and the stress headaches I didn't even know I had are gone. The most telling change? I checked my bank account today. Without funding 3 extra households, I've managed to save enough for 6 months of maternity leave and start a college fund for my daughter. Catherine still sends daily Venmo requests, each one smaller than the last. From $500 for emergency needs to $50 for Lucy's lunch. I archive each one without response. Lucy's lunch money goes straight to James now, at least I know it's actually feeding her. Mom's latest strategy is silence. She thinks it'll make me crack. What she doesn't understand is that silence feels like peace after years of constant demands. The most ironic part? They're all finally learning to adult. Catherine got a real job, turns out there are consequences to posting Instagram stories of your spa day when you're claiming poverty. Noah's learning about budget spreadsheets. Mom's talking to a financial advisor about her retirement plan, something I begged her to do for years. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is to let them face reality. Even when they hate you for it. I'm due in 3 weeks. My daughter will be born into a very different family than the one I've known, but maybe that's exactly what she needs, a mother who knows her worth, and a clear example of what real love looks like. Update 3, my daughter, Aurora, was born 3 weeks ago. 7 pounds 6 ounces of pure perfection. The delivery room was peaceful, just me, my best friend Mia, and my supportive medical team. No family drama, no guilt trips, no stress. Just the way I wanted it. The day Aurora was born, my phone was flooded with messages from my family. Mom left tearful voicemails about her first grandchild. Catherine insisted she should be there as the only sister. Noah complained about being excluded from his niece's life. I didn't read most of them, I was too busy falling in love with my daughter. 1 week after giving birth, I received a certified letter from Mom. Inside was a handwritten note detailing every penny she claims I owe the family, including interest. The total? Over $200,000. She threatened legal action if I didn't make things right. My response? I had my lawyer friend send a formal letter reminding her that gifts aren't loans, and that I have documentation of every transfer being voluntary. The letter also included a restraining order application, ready to file if needed. Message received, they haven't contacted me directly since. Catherine tried one last manipulation tactic. She sent Lucy to my door with a handmade card, clearly hoping I'd soften at the sight of my niece. But James was watching from his car, he no longer trusts Catherine's intentions, and quickly collected Lucy, apologizing for the manipulation attempt. The family's financial situation has hit rock bottom. Noah's couchsurfing and working as a barista, while Catherine's working full-time as an administrative assistant. Mom had to downsize to a one-bedroom apartment. No more luxury brunches or spa days for any of them. Sometimes reality is the best teacher. But here's the real victory: I'm thriving. My tech career is soaring. I just got promoted to senior engineer with a $25,000 raise. The irony? It happened after I started focusing on my own growth instead of managing my family's crises. My savings account, once perpetually drained by family emergencies, now has 6 months of living expenses plus a growing college fund for Aurora. The nursery, once a source of pain when my family dismissed my baby shower, is now my favorite room. The sage green walls witness daily moments of joy between me and Aurora. The rocking chair where I feed her at night isn't just furniture, it's my throne, where I sit as queen of my own peaceful kingdom. My support system has evolved beautifully. Taylor visits weekly, bringing home-cooked meals and genuine love for Aurora. Aunt Marie has become the grandmother figure Aurora deserves, showing up with age-appropriate gifts and respecting our boundaries. My friend circle has tightened, filled with people who celebrate my successes instead of demanding handouts. The most profound change? The silence. No more constant texts asking for money. No more guilt-laden voicemails. No more emergency calls about unpaid bills. The peace is palpable, and in this peace, I'm becoming the mother I want to be. Aurora will never know the weight of family obligation I carried. She'll grow up seeing her mother's strength, not her servitude. She'll learn that love doesn't come with invoices, and that no is a complete sentence. Yesterday, I received an invitation to a family reunion. The old me would have agonized over it, feeling obligated to attend, to explain, to make peace. The new me? I shredded it without a second thought. My family reunion happens every morning when Aurora wakes up smiling, every afternoon when we walk in the park, and every night when I rock her to sleep. Looking at Aurora, I see a future unencumbered by toxic family dynamics. She'll never have to calculate her worth in dollars sent or sacrifices made. She'll grow up knowing that real love builds you up, never drains you dry. They say success is the best revenge. I disagree. Peace is. And sitting here, watching Aurora sleep peacefully in her crib, I know I've won something far greater than revenge. I've won our future.